The book of Joshua is a story of courage, faith, and the long-awaited promise finally fulfilled. It begins just after the death of Moses. The Israelites, once slaves in Egypt, are now standing at the edge of the promised land, the land of Canaan. Their long 40-year journey through the wilderness is over. But one big challenge remains: they have to conquer the land. But one thing stood in their way: Jericho, a strong, walled city, fortified, guarded, and impossible to ignore. Their leader, Joshua, had taken the place of Moses. He was brave, wise, and full of faith. But he was also strategic. Before launching into battle, he decided to send 2 trusted spies to scout out Jericho. Their names? Salmon and Caleb, according to Jewish tradition. They moved silently through the city, gathering what they could, until someone noticed strangers in town. Soldiers were sent to hunt them down. The spies found safety in the most unexpected place: a house built into Jericho's wall, belonging to a woman named Rahab. Rahab wasn't a likely hero. She was a prostitute, living on the margins. But she had heard the stories, how God parted the Red Sea, how Israel had conquered mighty kings. And she believed. She said to the spies,
"I know your God is the true God. Please spare me and my family when you come."
In return for her courage and kindness, the spies promised her safety. "Hang this red cord from your window," they told her. "When we return, we'll know to protect your home." Back at camp, Joshua got word from the spies. It was time to move. But there was one huge obstacle. The Jordan River was flooded, raging with water. How would an entire nation cross? God told Joshua what to do. The priests carrying the sacred Ark of the Covenant stepped into the water. And just like that, the river stopped. The waters backed up, and the ground became dry. Every man, woman, and child crossed safely, just like at the Red Sea. They set up stones to remember that day, so their children would know that God had made a way when there seemed to be none. Then came Jericho. But this wasn't going to be a normal battle. God had a strange plan. For 6 days, the people marched around the city once a day, in silence, just the sound of footsteps and trumpets. On the 7th day, they marched 7 times. Then they shouted with all their might, and the walls of Jericho collapsed, just like that. True to their word, the spies protected Rahab and her family. The red cord in her window marked her home, and she was spared. She left the city and became part of the Israelite people. The story of Joshua, the spies, and Rahab isn't just about battles. It's about trust when the path looks impossible, courage when you're the last person others expect, and faith that turns walls into dust and outsiders into family. Rahab didn't just survive, she became one of them. A foreigner, a sinner, now part of God's people. And more than that, she became the ancestor of kings, even Jesus himself. Lessons from the story of Joshua, the spies, and Jericho faith can come from unexpected places. Rahab was not an Israelite. She wasn't a religious leader or a person with a spotless reputation. She was a prostitute living in a pagan city. But she believed in the God of Israel more than many people born into the faith. Lesson: God sees the heart. Anyone, regardless of background, status, or past, can choose faith and be part of His plan. Obedience. Even when it doesn't make sense, marching silently around a city for a week doesn't sound like a battle strategy. It sounds strange. But Joshua and the people obeyed without question, and God did the impossible. Lesson: sometimes God asks us to trust Him beyond logic. Victory often comes on the other side of obedience. God makes a way where there is none. The Jordan River was overflowing. The crossing seemed impossible. But the moment the priests stepped in with faith, the waters parted. Lesson: when we take the first step in faith, even when things look impossible, God steps in and makes a way. Remember what God has done. The 12 stones by the Jordan were a memorial, a way to help future generations remember what God did. Lesson: it's important to pause and look back, to remember where we've come from, how far God has brought us, and share those stories with others. Redemption is real. Rahab didn't just survive. She was redeemed. She joined God's people and became an ancestor of Jesus. Lesson: no one is too far gone. With faith and repentance, anyone can find a new future in God's family.
Hi, friends. If you enjoyed this story and feel inspired, there's so much more where that came from. On this channel, we dive into uplifting, faith-filled content to encourage you in your journey. If you're looking for more inspiring Bible stories, lessons of hope, and moments to strengthen your faith, hit that subscribe button now. And don't forget to click the notification bell so you never miss an update. Together, let's grow in faith and share God's love with the world. See you in the next video.